to another session of Let's Get Real with Mona Naidoo. That's me, Mona Naidoo. I'm an abundant living coach, a women's empowerment mentor, a human behavior specialist, a philanthropist, and an advocate for humanity. Now you have to forgive me, really, my screen was just doing some weird things and I was paying attention to the screen rather than sharing with you who I am. Now, in these sessions of Let's Get Real with Mona, I share with you stories and teachings to inspire you to turn your dreams into reality. Now, in today's session, I'll be sharing about an important question to ask daily, and most especially when things are not going so well, or maybe you're in a downward spiral. You'll be surprised how simple this is. And here's the thing, when you ask this question, deep truths will be revealed, and you've got to do it consciously to find the deeper truths about this. So let's go on with today. Now this is going to be an interesting session because there's lots of exciting things happening on the screen. Tell me, what's good in your life? Now I'll give you a few seconds to think about it, and then you can run through in one hand, maybe go over to two hands. How many things did you come up with? Now, did you pay attention to what was happening in your mind when I asked the question to tell me what's good in your life? What was the first thought? And yes, if you listed more than 5 things, well, awesome. Let's celebrate that. If you listed just one thing, that's great. Now, if you were challenged to find any, let me know why that is so. Now, remember, I'm not asking you to just tell me what's good. I want you to feel what's really good in your life. Can you do that? You see, we can do this exercise as an intellectual exercise from the head, and hey, you may have a dozen or more things that you say are good in your life. But have you noticed that when we come from that space, it fizzles out just as fast as we said that we had a handful of good things happening in our life? And then you find the ups and downs in your life. You do know what I'm talking about, right? So this is a way for you to know when it's an intellectual exercise or it's an exercise that you are experiencing through an expanded heart. Now, if you would love to be in high vibes more consistently, then you want to feel what's good in your life. You want to know that each thing you mention, that you can actually feel it. It just lifts you up. It lights you up. You feel good just by thinking about it or speaking it out loud or typing it in and sharing it with someone. You know what I'm talking about because I know you've definitely felt that. Now, even if it's just one thing, it makes all the difference to your well-being. Because remember, it's not about quantity. It's not about how many things you feel good about. It's about feeling that deep connection to that one thing that makes you feel good. You know, like they say, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. So let me tell you about a recent experience. A recent experience just this past Saturday. We went to celebrate the top 5 students at a school that we support. And there we were We had laid the tables. We were hosted by a local restaurant, and the teachers came through, and the 5 students came through, and we were there, and our counselor was there, and we were having so much, merriment around the table, celebrating these wonderful, amazing students that, despite various challenges, because they do come from one of our marginalized communities, and despite the various challenges last year, they came up to the position of the top 5. And it was so interesting that the person who was a number 1, well, she shared how her mom was very ill last year, and every day she would have to go home and see her mom in pain and in agony. But she still showed up. She showed up and she studied, and she got 6 distinctions, right? Now, how fabulous is that? So whilst they were sharing all this, I went around the table and I asked, so what's good in life? And then one of the teachers, well, he started with sharing that he had recently had an accident, and obviously his car was damaged, and you could see he was doing his best. He was really doing his best to feel, positive about his life. And he was doing his best. And then I said something, I said, well, aren't you happy that, just look at this. You are here today. You survived the accident, because it looked like it was quite a horrific accident, if I could use that word. And you could celebrate these students. You could sit here with us today, and you could be here and contribute to this amazing celebration. Do you know what happened? He immediately shifted. He immediately shifted, because even though he knew he was still here, I don't think he realized how valuable he was in the world. He shifted. For everybody that was there, he was dancing. You may see some photos around about it. He was dancing. He was on top of the world. And then we went around the table, and someone else shared something else about going through a challenging time last year with a shift and change in her status, a marital status. And then she looked, you could see she was pulling it out. She was looking for the good. And then each of the kids were able to share how they got to be in the top 5 positions through their adversities. And they were celebrating. The teachers then shared, despite the challenging circumstances they all worked in, they were able to just find one thing. And you know what that one thing was? The fact that we were there celebrating. We were there celebrating despite all the challenges that lockdown caused for schools and our disconnection from them over that period. They were celebrating that finally we could come together. Now, if you were there, you would have felt the joy, the celebratory frequency that was there, the merriment. You would have felt the high vibes that was in that place. Because that's what happens when we consciously look for the good. Now, it's easy to fall into the trap. It's easy to fall into the trap of what's not working, what's not good. It's easy to do that. And the world that we live in, with so much going on, we sometimes forget that we are being pulled into a space that is not even where we would ordinarily hang out in. And I know that I've got to be extremely conscious. Have you ever gone somewhere And then you are sitting there minding your own business, and someone comes along and they start talking about something. And the next minute you realize, oh, wow, like I was feeling good, but now I don't feel good. And maybe you enter into the conversation. And then you realized you've dropped your vibration. You've now gone into someone else's lane. You're sitting in someone else's parking lot, not in your own parking lot or even in your own car anymore. Now, as human beings, we are programmed this way to look for the bad things. It's as if we are detectives to find the bad things. Now, being aware of this, that this is how we are programmed, we want to reprogram our minds. We want to reprogram our minds to consciously look for the good and to pull ourselves out of those places that keep us locked in seeing the world other than the beautiful world that it is, in seeing our lives other than the beautiful life that we get to experience every single day. And remember, it's not about how much we have. It's about how we choose to be every single day. So you may be wondering, how does one find the good in our life? Now, there's so much going on in the world, right? So many distractions. And what happens when there's so many distractions? Well, the distractions, by the way, don't take you closer to the good in your life. They actually keep you further and further away. So it's about finding a way to be in a high vibe space. It's about finding the way to choose where you are going and what you are doing. So one of the ways to be in a space where you have control of your thoughts, you are aware of your thoughts, and then you can change it, right? And one of the ways to do this is to meditate. Now, it's been proven all the various benefits of meditation, but really, it helps you to stop. It helps you to take a breath. It helps you to be in stillness. It helps you to quieten down all that noise, all the distractions. It helps you to center yourself. It helps you to find that expansive side of you. And when you can find that expansive side of you, do you know what happens? Then what do you think you see outside of you? You see the good in your life. You see the good all around you. You see the good in the world. Because you cannot come from an expansive state and be focusing on lack and scarcity and all the fear-mongering that's going out there. No, you can't. Right? The other thing you can do is, what did I just speak about? Celebrate, right? Celebrate your wins. Focus on your wins. You see, we forget to celebrate life. We forget to celebrate every moment that we are still here. Now, it doesn't have to be big things. It can be anything for you. Like I said, that we get up every morning, that we have a roof over our head. We got to do something today. It may be something different. Maybe you didn't get angry today. That's a reason to celebrate. It's the little things. But find a reason to celebrate. Find a reason to look for what's working in your life. Or don't find a reason to look for what's working in your life. Look for the things that's working in your life. Because even though it may seem as if nothing's working, if you stop and you're still enough, you'll be able to find it. And then you celebrate it, right? Now, be mindful about who you hang out with, because here's the thing. They can either rise you, help you to lift, help you to go up and up and up to where you want to go, or they can contribute to you going into this deep, dark pit where nobody can find you. And you have to be aware that are people speaking the word of God, the word of light, the word of truth, or are they sitting in fear and they are thinking that the whole world is forsaken? Because these are the type of people you want to avoid. No, it's not that we are being, seeing everything through rose-colored glasses. We know that the world is beautiful and we know that we create our reality. So we want to hang out with people that are like-minded. We want to hang out with people that lift you up. Like on Saturday, the teacher was there and he was doing his best to be part of the celebrations. But one small thing shifted. And like I said, there was so much of merriment that nobody wanted to leave at the end of the day. And that's the type of people you want to hang out with. People who fill your soul. You feel so full at the end of that experience, not because you've eaten a lot, but because your heart has been filled with love. That's who you want to hang out with. Now, another thing you can do to look for the good in life is smile. Now remember, it's been proven that a smile actually makes you happier. And then you know what happens? When you are happier, what do you think happens? Well, you see things that are good around you. You cannot lock into the frequency of negativity when you're smiling and you're happy, right? And what does it cost you to smile? Nothing. Smile at people that you're walking by, because you activate all these chemicals in your brain, that wakes you up, that makes you see good, because a smile is connected to our executive functions. Anything other than that, a frown is connected to our negative, all the negative brain functions, where it makes us get scared and all upset and annoyed and irritated. That's what a frown does. So would you rather smile or would you want to frown, right? I mean, what looks better on your face? I'm sure a smile does, right? And remember, everybody wants to be around a happy person and a smiling person, okay? Be selective about what you watch and what you read. Well, if you're going to spend time every day reading the newspapers and watching the news and all the stories that are negative, well, unfortunately, that's going to draw you in to this downward spiral. And that's going to negatively impact you and your life. And then it's going to seem as if there's no good in your life, around you, or in the world. But the truth is, there's actually more good out there than the negative stuff. So be selective about what you read and what you watch. If there's something for you to know, you will find out. I mean, for years and years, I still don't read the newspapers or watch the news. Whatever it is I am to know, the universe will send that information to me through someone, or maybe I'll get a message, maybe I'll find an email where that information is. Or I'll chat to somebody and, by the way, I'll get to find out. So be selective about what you read and you watch. Even movies, be mindful of that, because it can either pull you into a negative loop or it can just help you raise your vibration and help you to feel better and better and better. Now, one of my favorite things to do to see the good around me is dance, because dance really lifts your spirits. It helps your vibration to soar, right? I mean, it takes you to heights. It's been said that just dancing can lift depression. Do you know that? Because here's the thing. When you dance, you are light. And when you are light, well, you're connecting to all the light frequencies, the lighter emotions. And that's what dance does. Dance causes you to be moving. It brings a smile on your face. You're listening to music. It can be meditative. Like it brings all the things. You dance when you're celebrating. So you can do all those other things that I've mentioned just by dancing. You can bring all the other components in just by dancing. So if you had to choose one, which one would you choose? I'd love to know. Now here's the thing, right? Life is always happening. We have a choice. We have a choice what we do every single day. So if you make sure to look for the good in your life, well, you will find it. And what I've realized is that when you acknowledge the good in your life, you bring light into your life. And when you are willing to acknowledge the good all around you and in the world, you shine your light into the world. You see, light is abundance. Abundance is light. And you become a vibrational match for more good and abundance to flow to you and into your life when you acknowledge the good in your life, around you, and in the world. So, I'd love to know what's good in your life. Is this a practice that you are willing to take up every day to ensure that you are in high vibes so that you can align to the next level of your abundance? Let me know. I'm looking forward to reading your comments and hearing how this goes for you. So until next time, ciao for now.